Welcome to the next chapter of The Unremarkable Entrepreneur. It's the book I'm writing week by week over the next year for all the practitioners, artists, and creators who've realized they don't need another playbook. They need to find their own path. This is Your Loneliness is a Business Model. Ask yourself, what do I typically feel when I open my phone? Mine rarely brings me joy, relief, or contentment. Mostly, it's just exhausting. An endless stream of admin, unread messages, little red icons demanding my attention, promotional notifications promising the latest shortcut to optimizing life, and social feeds filled with people shouting about their latest breakthrough. And the ads, the endless provocation of my emotional well-being. I feel like I'm already behind before the day has even begun. Not because it's true, but because the system insists that it is so. Humanity decided not to build a home for itself, but a superstore, and its chosen language is sales. It has become popular to talk about digital burnout, and sure, we can blame the algorithm, point fingers at the guru economy, get frustrated with the endless funnels and the manufactured urgency, and tell ourselves that if we just find a better way to filter the noise, we'll finally find some peace. But these are just weather patterns of a hostile global climate. A rising damp that seeps through your pocket, leaks from the mouths of politicians and tech titans, and drips daily through your inbox, shaping the way you feel, giving it a name, and then selling its own solution back to you. In the last movement, we explored the architecture of presence. Now we face the enemy that obscures it and ask, what makes it so hard to stay in contact with who you actually are? Let me ask you this. How is it possible that you don't wake up each day filled with awe and wonder that you get to participate in the unfathomable story of the universe and instead pick up your phone to anxiously manage your place within it? Because the climate we live in profits from replacing that natural awe with a quiet, chronic anxiety. It tells us we are incomplete and then sells us the very things it claims will make us whole again. Status, reach, luxury, certainty. It's called isolation economics, the inevitable byproduct of unchecked systemic greed which feeds on lonely, frightened, and disconnected people, the most profitable demographic on Earth. When we are disconnected from our majesty, we buy the course to prove we matter. When we are disconnected from our neighbours, we buy the brand to signal our belonging. When we are disconnected from our own story, we buy someone else's version of what our lives should look like and call it aspiration. This is not an accident. It's the system working exactly as designed. The planet-sized superstore we've built requires your isolation to fuel its growth. To turn human beings into predictable, malleable consumers, it must first sever our deep connections. It isolates us. It convinces us that we are in constant competition for scarce resources. It needs us to feel like victims, so it can direct our anxieties and sell us the solution to the wounds that it opened. Nobody wrote the manifesto, they just found that lonely people convert. The byproduct became the method became the brief, and the brief became normal. Today, isolation economists are everywhere. People who see permission, perhaps even instruction, to bait, to manipulate and maneuver, because in their eyes, that's just how the world works. At the everyday level, it looks like internet gurus, naming your fears and using them to persuade you to buy their playbook. They package your insecurity and sell it back to you as a 12-week program. It's not their fault. They are the unknowing middle management of the isolation economy, genuinely trying to help and genuine victims of the same system. At the commercial level, it looks like monopolies and relentless marketing. It's the steady erosion of shared spaces, sports hydration breaks sold as premium ad slots. It's the complete commoditization of being. Every hobby, every quiet moment, and every human interaction is mined for its potential to generate a return. Every data-driven marketing message selling you water to quench the fire it started. At the political level, it looks like outrage sold as civic life. Instead of town halls and physical communities, we get algorithmic battlegrounds, where neighbours are reduced to bitter caricatures in the comments section. Citizens are kept so busy fighting each other that they cannot see the civic infrastructure quietly being disassembled around them. A fractured, frightened population is not an accident. It's a decision. Freshly tilled soil in which ideological seeds can grow. Everywhere we turn, we are smashed by scarcity, FOMO, failure narratives, and unrealistic success stories. Our value, distilled into metrics, KPIs, and ROI, our lives judged by our follower counts, revenue streams, and the power of title. The rising damp has soaked us through, and somehow we've been convinced to be thankful for it. Because there's not enough to go around, right? But the peace practice reminds us of something different. The world is abundant. Money, attention, and opportunity are not in short supply. Success is not rationed, and the people who need your specific work are already looking for it. Isolation economics doesn't want you to believe that. It needs to replace abundance with scarcity, your majesty with performance, and connection with competition. It needs to make sure you feel alone, have someone to blame, and a product to purchase or a vote to cast. But when you become present to yourself and understand the hostile climate, empathy can start to flow. Not soft empathy that finds excuses, iron empathy that sees the system, refuses to participate in it, and helps others climb out of it. You can stop blaming yourself for the exhaustion. You can stop treating other practitioners as threats and recognize them as allies trapped by the same conditions. So what do we do? Remember that you are a social creature who craves connection, not endless consumption. Say it plainly. My value cannot be determined, described, or contained by a title, an audience, or the size of my bank balance. Refuse to treat those around you as prospects or competition, and forsake the podium where you declare, I'm here. Instead, notice the person across the workbench and say, you're here. In the current climate, that's not an act of well-being, it's an act of civic rebellion. If you felt alone, stressed, incomplete, angry, agitated, lost, or simply nothing when you picked up your phone this morning, ask yourself, whose story am I living in? Without question, you are part of a better story than the isolation economy would have you believe. And the choice to be an active participant in it is one that's waiting to be made. When you do, you'll take your place in a rising tide that resists the rising damp. You'll join a slow rebellion of people who refuse to be categorized, commoditized, and manipulated. That's where the other 1% belong. It won't feel fair. You'll certainly face the silence of an algorithm that does not know how to monetize your peace, but you can know pride in a world of shame. You can be the rebel in a world that's settled for less. You can be the mystic in a world that's forgotten wonder. Whilst they're building rockets, we'll be moving mountains. Your name might not make the history books, but enough will get to experience the view you created. That was Loneliness is a Business Model. And let me ask you, what did you feel? If today's stanza has helped you name something, resonated in some way, or made you feel like you want to belong, you might be ready to join a fellowship of practice I lead. If you're curious to know more, send me a message and we'll talk. If you want to read the text at your own pace or follow along as the rest of the book emerges, you can find the links in the notes below. If this resonated with you, it really is being written for you. So thank you for sharing this space with me today. I'll save you a seat in the next chapter.